So welcome to another new video, guys. And yeah, today we will discuss a new series. So many people already know about this series. I got so many requests about it. And when I asked you guys, the response was overwhelming. So yeah, finally we're going to talk about Classroom of the Elite. Some people have told me to read the light novel. But I need to connect more with characters first. So that's why I decided to watch the anime first. And after I'm finished with it, I'll hop on to read the novel. Anyway, to be honest, I have only watched some of the episodes. After I finish the whole anime, I'll talk more about protagonist of the series. Personally, I'm already fascinated by our protagonist, AYANOKOJI. At first, I thought he was just a normal introvert student. Because he didn't show much interest in anything. Also, there are so many mysteries around their school, where they are all studying. I'm interested to know more about the school and its students. So yeah, before we talk about this, as usual guys, I would kindly appreciate it if you can drop a like on the video and consider subscribing to the channel. Let's go into the video now. So I decided to talk about the first 2 episodes of this season. I'll talk more about this soon. I'll be mainly focusing on the most important scenes in the anime. And if you are going to talk about spoilers in the comments section, it would be great if you use the spoiler tag so that others, including myself, don't get spoiled. However, the unique thing about this series is before every episode starts, they're using some kind of proverb, and it's quite impressive. And the first episode starts with the protagonist talking about equality of the humanity. Because heaven doesn't create one person above or below other. Everyone is equal at birth, but suddenly gaps appear. That's depend on one's academic efforts. There's a small scene that's shown before they reach school. A girl asks another student to give up his seat to an elder person. But that guy straight up refused. He asks what's the difference between the priority seats and normal seats. This scene hit me hard, cause anyone could have helped that old lady if they wanted to. But they didn't. Like the protagonist said, equality may be a false concept, but inequality remains a difficult thing to accept. Which is explained perfectly with the scene. This is the moment I started to think it's not a bad idea to give this series a watch. After they reach the school, we are introduced about the school. To put it simply, this school is established by the Japanese government to nurture the young people who will support the country in future. Then we see the ceremony to welcome all the students. Here, they introduced another new character, and his name is Horikita. He is the students' council president. We are shown so many characters in this class. And we see AYANOKOJI and Suzune sitting beside in the classroom. And not only in the class, but even during bus travel, he sits beside her. After this, one student asked others to introduce themselves in order to get to know more about each other. Even though to me, AYANOKOJI seemed like didn't care about it. He was observing everything very meticulously. But when his turn came to introduce himself, he just didn't explain anything about him. He acted like some dull guy. But by the looks of it, I can definitely tell he is far from being dumb. And maybe he has some super level motive behind his act. After this, the Class D homeroom teacher enters the class, who is responsible for them for the next 3 years. And hands out school rule books to every student. This contains all the special things about this school. Definitely, as I've said before, it's not any ordinary school. They have their own unique set of rules. All the students live in the school dorms. And they are only permitted to contact the outside world rarely. There will be a certain limit to it. So many people always want to spend their time outside. Spending time on shopping, cafe, and the movies. But this school offers all of these facilities inside the campus itself. To buy things, they'll have to points and not real money, which will be given by the school. And the points are allotted on the first day of the first month. 1 point value is equivalent to 1 yen in Japanese currency. So, now each student has 1 lakh points. After this, as usual, everyone spends their points blindly without thinking much. Then, we see AYANOKOJI accidentally bumps into Suzune once again in the shopping center. Suzune introduced herself to him, even though at first she was unwilling to do even that. After a few days, some students become friends with each other. But AYANOKOJI and Suzune, both of them were alone. They didn't make any friends. When AYANOKOJI asks her about this, Suzune says she didn't make any friends because she liked to be alone. After AYANOKOJI leaves the class, Kushida approaches him. She's once become friends with Suzune. But Suzune is extremely unapproachable, as we know. And since she noticed AYANOKOJI is the one always hanging out with her, so she asked AYANOKOJI for help. Anyway, he decides to help Kushida to become friends with Suzune. So, he asks Suzune to come with him to a cafe. She only talks with him and no one else. And also, since both of them don't have any friends, she decided to go with him. When both got a seat in the cafe, Kushida once again tried to approach Suzune. And I'm so impressed. As Suzune understood everything in such a short time. She quickly realized it's all set up. She's also noticed everyone in her class in the cafe, so leaves that place. So, AYANOKOJI and Kushida's plan of befriending Suzune was a complete disaster. However, the ending of this episode was so good. AYANOKOJI thinks about his school life. Everyone decides to spend so much money without thinking twice. And not to mention, napping in between classes. Tardiness became a daily occurrence. Their teacher also didn't care about it. But that's what these students thought. And this is where this real twist comes. After 1 month, 1st May arrived. Everyone started to panic because none of them got any points added to their system. They're using points in the place of money. So they're asking their teacher, what happened? Why are their points still the same, even after the first day of the month? But she says, this month's points have already been allotted. Hearing this, Class D is so confused. Then suddenly she said, what a bunch of idiots you are. And I feel this scene is so good. Like I said before, the students thought their teacher was lenient. But they were wrong, unfortunately. She literally noticed everything they did during the class, but kept quiet. Basically, their grades and performance evaluations reflect on their points. She says. My assessment has resulted in loss of all 1 lakh points you were to be given. So therefore, the point they received this month 0. Which means there's no extra money for them to spend in this month. They have to live this month with the points they have now. No one expected this. Including me. And honestly, I really liked the first episode. It's really a good start. And I want to thank so many of you for suggesting me this series. Well, the episode 2 opens with all the students enjoying themselves in the pool. The name of this episode is It Takes Great Talent to Conceal One's Talent. At first, I couldn't understand what it meant. But by the end of it, I understood the true meaning of it. Suzune comes and asks him, how could the other students enjoy themselves? After the shock they got in the classroom. She says, these people are the worst kind of defectives, according to the S system. This S system is nothing but a tool to assess each student in real time and assign numerical value to them. The teacher obviously didn't reveal the details of the performance evaluation. And according to the class points, their Class D is the lowest. And the only way to earn more points is to earn more points than Class C is. A result, they'll be promoted to C, and the C class will come down to D. I know it's a bit confusing at first. But I guess I'll get used to it later. Anyway, during lunch, Suzune tells AYANOKOJI that she wants to be promoted to Class A as soon as possible. So she can't afford for some slow students like Pseudo and others to damage the Class D's performance as a whole. She gives AYANOKOJI this responsibility to make Pseudo and other students who keep failing to agree to come to her study group. She compelled him to do this for her, as she didn't forgive him for conspiring with Kushida. After this, he goes to all the 3 students, but they straight up refuse him. It was so funny, because I was kinda expecting this. Then, we see AYANOKOJI playing his mind game. He quickly thought of including Kushida into this. Because she's the most popular girl in his class. He called up Kushida and said about the whole plan. She quickly agreed to help him. She acted quite fast and managed to bring those 3 students onto the table. But she had one request. Before doing this, she wanted to be a part of the study group as well. As soon as all of them sat together to study, conflicts occurred. Suzune and Pseudo started fighting, resulting in Pseudo and others leaving the group. Well, I could see this coming. She was quite condescending to them, and they weren't ready to be treated like that with arrogance. After they leave, Suzune tells them it was just a waste of time for her. All her endeavors were wasted. She now tells AYANOKOJI and Kushida that she thinks it's better for those students to drop out if they are going to hold back Class D. But Kushida didn't like this. She reassured she'll surely do something from her end to stop those 3 students from being expelled. But then, Suzune behaves real bad with Kushida and blames her for blocking her path. This saddens Kushida and she leaves immediately. Since I'm just in episode 2, I really can't understand the sudden change in her personality. And there's something mysterious around her, which makes me more invested in her character. Anyway, the scenes change to a nighttime scenario. AYANOKOJI decides to buy something. So he goes out of his room and overhead Suzune talking to someone. He later realizes the guy she was talking to is her brother, the president of the students' council. Here we get to know the real reason behind her desperation to be promoted to Class A soon. She just wants acknowledgement from her elder brother. She wants to prove him she is not a failure anymore. But Manabu was not so easy on her. He said it's he who has to bear all the embarrassment and shame. Because his sister is allocated in Class D, even though Suzune tells him she will definitely reach Class A soon. Now comes the best scene of the anime till now. Just when Hanabu was about to strike a blow to Suzune, AYANOKOJI comes to the scene and blocks the attack. This was so unexpected. And this proves why so many of you guys love this anime. I get it now. Suzune asks him to stop. And as soon as he lets go off Manabu's hand, he tries to punch, but AYANOKOJI didn't let his guard down. He quickly dodged his punch, which was followed by a kick. This was like crazy. Who thought an ordinary student had such high reflexes? A simple guy with a poker face all the time could actually fight so well that it was beyond my imagination. Manabu was impressed by his moves and asked if AYANOKOJI practiced anything. To which he instantly replied, piano and calligraphy. Well, I really want to know, was he joking? Because how could someone excel at close combat by just practicing piano and calligraphy? So many of you commented about this line. Then Suzune's brother tells us it was AYANOKOJI who got 50s in all the subjects in the entrance exam. And after hearing this, it's actually difficult to purposely score the exact half in all the subjects. It takes a lot of skill to be able to pull off something like that. AYANOKOJI, of course, said it was a mere coincidence, and coincidences can be scary sometimes. But as per my knowledge, and based on what I've understood watching these 2 episodes is that nothing related to AYANOKOJI is a coincidence. Because he's too smart to function like any other normal guy. Manabu expresses surprise as he learned his sister was able to make friends. But Suzune tells he was not her friend, but just a classmate to her. Manabu then tells her she mistook isolation for independence as usual. And I really like this line. The dialogues of this anime are so deep. After this, they both have a little conversation while drinking, where Suzune praises AYANOKOJI for his skills. She tells him if the failure students like Sudo are expelled, it will accelerate the rise of Class D, as the remaining students left will be the best ones. AYANOKOJI corrects her saying her shortcoming is that she thinks others hold her back and thus she stays away from them. And makes her realize that this patronizing attitude of her is the actual cause why she was put into an inferior class like Class D. The episode ends by AYANOKOJI telling us all the students from his class scored really high marks in all the subjects like grammar, mathematics, chemistry, civics and English. The episode didn't give us much intel about anyone being expelled or not. Anyway, I'll watch a few more episodes and come up with those episodes' reviews soon. If you want to discuss anything about the classroom of the elite, please comment it down below so that every one of us can engage in it. And if you guys like this video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. And good luck to all.